What that means is that when you begin to fear that social concept that people have defined to be success and failure, it can immobilize you because you have seen the aftermath of those who have been termed to be failures. The fear of failure alone. You have something you need to do, but you are scared of doing it because you know that if you don't win, if you don't succeed, you will be seen to be a failure. That also is a problem. But there's something you need to understand. It is entirely up to you to decide how you see what should be termed as failure. It is entirely up to you as a person, as a realtor, as a businessman, as a businesswoman, to define what failure is for you. Now, we can decide to see failure as the end or as a learning experience to win. Now, let me bring it down home. Let me bring it back home to marketing. You have been marketing a particular product and you've not been able to get the attention. You've not been able to convert that lead to a customer, right? Or probably you've gotten rejection from a particular client that you've been talking to. Let's say you spoke to about 10 persons and 10 of your prospects are not buying into your product. So there is this social concept that you have failed. Oh, I've been marketing, I've been talking to people, I've spoken to 10 persons and none of them are interested in buying. Then you begin to feel and characterize yourself on the side of failure. Now, what that does for you is the next time you think about talking to more people, you feel immobilized because there's a fear of what if? What if they don't listen to me? What if they don't buy my product? What if it's like the previous experience? You can decide to see that as failure. But there are persons who are going to see the same scenario as a learning experience for them. Oh, I've spoken to 10 persons and they're yet to give me a response. What did I do wrong? Or how can I review my process? How can I review my interaction in order for me to do better when I talk to the next 10 people? These are two perspectives that will come out of that experience. You can choose to see failure as the end of your career, as the end of your business in real estate marketing, as the end of your life, or you can choose to see it as a learning experience to win. Now, I have case studies for you. There are three persons I want us to consider in today's conversation. One is Michael Jordan. I'm sure a lot of us know who Michael Jordan is. Michael Jordan is widely considered to be one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But was it so for him when he started? Of course not. Michael Jordan was one of the most controversial basketballers. People who had a very humble beginning. Where at the point in the team where he played, he was asked to leave the team because they felt he was not doing enough. They felt he was not performing. But who is Michael Jordan today? When you talk about success in basketball, when you talk about success in the basketball court, you talk about Michael Jordan. Because he did not allow the definition, the social concept, he did not allow the characteristics, he did not allow people's position about him in basketball judge him or hold him. He did not allow the fear of failure to immobilize him. Rather, he saw the rejection, he saw the attributed failure as a learning experience. And he worked on himself. People may dismiss you, people may reject your opinions or reject your additions, your contributions because of where you are. But it becomes your problem if you don't do something about it. It is not about drawing sympathy. Oh, I was rejected. Oh, I failed. No. Sometimes rejections are meant to bring out the best in us. I'm sure if Michael Jordan's coach had patronized him and said, oh, you are excellent, even when he had nothing, even when he was not that good, I'm sure he wouldn't have been the best. Probably one of the, oh, he's well to do. But today is the best because he chose to turn the experience of failure to a success. Now let's talk about Warren Buffett. We know Warren Buffett is one of the richest men in the world. If you've been reading around economics and finance and investment, you find out that he's one of the largest investors in the world. He likes to invest in businesses. He likes to put his money in the stock market, and he likes to bank on business ideas that he thinks will do very well in terms of financial growth year in years. He's one of those patient kind of investors who invest in the business and he goes to sleep. He plays for the long term. Today is one of the world's wealthiest and most successful businessmen out there. But he was rejected by Harvard University. He was not good enough for Harvard School, Harvard University. Today is a person who can own or who can buy institutions. Did he allow the social concept of people's belief and definition of failure and success to hold him? No, he didn't. Now look at the case of Richard Branson, one of our case studies today. He is currently the owner of the Virgin Atlantic or Virgin Empire, the airline, Virgin Airline. And he happened to be a school dropout. I'm sure if we keep going on and on, you'll find out that you probably have come in contact, whether physically or through remote means, people who did badly from their beginning or in their foundational level, but they are doing so well where they are now. And this is purely because they choose to wake up from the illusion that failure is meant to immobilize them. I've seen realtors who invest so much money in marketing, on ads, flyers, name them, inspections here and there. Their first 6 months, even up to a year, and they don't sell. And after that, they decide to quit. I've also seen realtors who have gone beyond 1 year, and after 1 year and beyond, they began to experience sales. And that brings me to this popular saying that if you don't stop, nothing will stop you. If you don't quit, nothing will do what? Will quit you or quit for you. The idea is to keep investing in your area of interest. Learn from your failure, improve on yourself, and you'll definitely be on the other side of failure. Now, a lot of people will stumble and fall in life. A lot of realtors, a lot of marketers will experience rise and fall. Some experiencing will leave doors slammed in your faces, leaving you vulnerable to poor decisions. You know that kind of feeling where you think you have failed, where there's anger, where there's madness, where there's depression, when you're vulnerable, and then you begin to think of doing anything. Poor decisions begin to flow through your system. You're definitely going to experience that when you're feeling this push of backwardness. But imagine if Michael Jordan, our case study, had given up on his dream to play basketball when he was cut off from his team. Imagine if the likes of Richard Branson listened to the people who told him he had never do anything worthwhile without high school diploma. Imagine if Warren Buffett had given up because he could not get admission to the Harvard University, the prestigious Harvard University. Are we going to be having them as case study for failure to success today? Of course not. To fail is a thing, and to succeed is a thing. So if they are both things, you can choose to tilt to the side that you want the most, which is success. Now, failing at something can help you discover your truest friends. when you are challenged, that is when you get to understand how life is. Not just your friends. It also helps you to experience the other side of life. I did a podcast some years ago about a step backward. I'd invested so much in the business and I lost a lot of money. In fact, I lost so much and I was on ground zero. And I wrote something down. I did a podcast on a step backward. I probably may share it to you. Those of you who will be interested to listen, I can send it to you. Just send me a chat and I will send you that podcast link. When you're at your lowest, you have the advantage to find unexpected motivation. You get motivation anywhere. But when you're at your lowest, when everywhere seems to be very quiet for you, you can take advantage of that moment. You can take advantage of that failure moment. That moment when you're thinking that you are good for nothing. That moment when you're thinking that you'll be ruled out. When you're left alone. When there's too much silence. You can also take advantage of that moment. And that is why it's a general opinion or it's a general thought that valuable insights come only after a failure. If you're that kind of person that when you go out for marketing and your prospect don't show up as discussed, I will get back to you. And you sit down to review your conversation, to review the process you had, the buyer's journey that you had with this particular prospect. I'm sure you'll find things that you did not do well or areas where you did not do well. But if you're always about, I did everything right. If you did everything right, then you should not be complaining at first. When you get results that are not favorable, you need to take a step backward and review the process. Was it you? Was it the client? Was it the product you